Hello everyone, welcome back to Computer Network course. So guys, now we are starting with the new layer of TCP/IP protocol, that is transport layer. Okay, so first we will see what is a transport layer, where it is located, what is the need of using transport layer, right? Then we will see the different services that a transport layer provide, right? What is the advantage of using transport layer? Then some issues related to these services, and at the last we will see the different protocols, okay, of transport layer. Okay, so first let's start with what is a transport layer, and then we will see the different services. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so transport layer is located between application layer and network layer, right? We have seen the TCP/IP model, right? So transport layer is between application layer and network layer, right? Now, what is the role of a transport layer? What a transport layer does, right? Let's discuss that. Okay, so the first very important duty role of a transport layer is to provide process to process delivery, or you can say end-to-end delivery or port-to-port delivery. This is the first very important duty of a transport layer. It provides end-to-end delivery of packets, right? Now, what is this end-to-end delivery? Okay, let's take this with the help of an example. Okay, let's consider this a network A and this is a network B. Okay, I'm connected with the router. Okay, so in this network, we have different hosts, A1 host, A2 host, A3 host, A4 host. These are the different hosts. Okay, here B1 host, B2 host, and B3 host. These are the different hosts connected via topology. Okay, and this is network A, this is network B. Okay, in network, we have different hosts. Okay, so we have already learned what a network layer does. What is the role of a network layer? If we want to transfer some data from this network to this network, right, from A1 host to B1. So network layer provide host to host delivery, right? If we want to send a data from A1 to B1, then it connects A1 via B1, host to host delivery, right? Then what data link layer do? That we have not studied. Let me give you a glimpse. Data layer does what is the next hop, means if they are connected via two routers. So the next hop of for A1 to reach B1, the next hop is this router. Okay, first it have to reach there, then the next router, then it can reach to somewhere B1, right? So data link layer, next hop, where the next hop is. Then what is now the question is transport layer. We are studying transport layer. And what transport layer does? A1 already reaches to B1 with the help of network layer. So what transport layer does? Okay, so let's suppose A1 is your system. Okay, A1 is your system and B1 is your system. A1 and B1 is your two systems, right? A1 wants to send some data, A1 laptop to B1 laptop. Okay, and in this laptop, you have different applications open. You have different applications open. Here you have different applications open. So from this application, you want to send the data from this application to this application only. A1, B1, we have identified. I have to send the data from A1 to B1. But in A1, I have selected a separate process, a separate application. And from that application, I want to send data in particular application of B1. Understood? So that transport layer does. So transport layer is port to port, this port to this port, this process to this process, end-to-end delivery, where the particular it exists, right? Let's suppose in this is a building, and in this building you have the floor number 1, and in floor number 1 you have identified, okay, you live in floor number 1, but floor number 1 has different rooms. So you live in this third room. So it tells you the exact location of your where you want to send your data. So it is end-to-end delivery, process to process delivery. Okay. So the role of first very important role of a transport layer is to provide process to process delivery. right? Then now how it provides this delivery? It needs some sort of address, right? If you want to go that room, row number one or flat number, the floor number one to that particular flat, you need some address, right? Now, what is the addressing mechanism of transport layer? Let's discuss that. Okay. So to define a process, we need what? We need a port number, right? To define a process in this network A1, in this network B1, this host A1 to B1, in this system, which application we want to get, for that we need port number. Okay. So port number, what port number is? Port number identifies which process or which application you want to access from that system. Okay, in that system A1, in this laptop A1, you have multiple processes, multiple applications running, right? So for that, you want to connect to which application, that is your port number. Okay, so port number is of 16 bits. Okay, and so number of ports possible is 2 to the power 16, that is 65536. Okay, so the range is 0 to 65535, right? And this range is given by ICANN. What is this ICANN? ICANN is an organization which is used for, which provides a registration of these port numbers. Okay, so it is an organization which provides these registration of range of port number, right? We have these three ranges. First one is well known, 0 to 1024, then 1023, then 1024 to 49151. It is registered port numbers, then it is dynamic port numbers. So well-known port numbers means they are assigned and controlled by ICANN organization. Okay, registered port numbers, they are neither assigned nor controlled. They are just registered by ICANN to help prevent duplication. Okay, then dynamic port numbers, they are temporary port numbers or private port numbers. Okay, so they are neither controlled nor assigned. Okay, so I can provide these port number ranges. Okay, well known, registered, and dynamic. Okay, so we have seen this A1 host. We want the network A, we want the connection. We want to make a process to process communication from this A1 to B1. And in A1 also, we want to make a connection for this port to this port. Okay, so for that, what we need? First, we need this B1, right? Then for that, we need an IP address, right? If you can see this image, right? What transport layer does is, first it selects the host. First, network layer tells you the host, for which network you want, for which computer you want to connect, right? Which host you want to connect. Every computer has three addresses: MAC address, IP address, and port address. MAC address is physical address. IP address is logical or your network address, which tells you which computer you want to connect, the system, your network address. Okay, this is IP address. So it tells you, okay, I want to connect to this. So B1 has an IP address of this. So it goes to B1. Now in this laptop, you want to go to this 13th number process. There are many processes running. So you want to go to that 13th number process. So it is the port number. So you have third address, that is port number. So it is the port number. Okay. So transport layer does is, transport layer provide you process to process communication, right? So for that, it needs an IP address, okay, to identify your system, your host, and the port number. So the combination of this helps you achieve the process to process communication. So the combination of IP address and port number is socket address. Socket address helps to achieve process to process communication. What is socket address? It is the combination of IP address and port number. Okay, so like IP address is like your building. Okay. So in this building, you want to go to which floor? You live in floor number 1. IP address tells you the building. You have so many buildings, right? Address tells you, okay, go to first building. Then in that building, which flat you live, it tells you the port number. Port number tells, okay, the person lives in flat number 2. So you go to flat number 2 and here you get that person. Okay, so you need IP address and port number to uniquely identify, right? So it is socket address. So you need the socket address for providing the process to process communication. Okay, so this is the addressing mechanism of transport layer. It needs socket address. Socket address is the combination of IP address and port number. Okay, port number tells you which process in the system, which process is running in the system, which process you want to connect, the address of the particular process, particular application in your system. Okay, so now let's see the third important service that your transport layer provides. Okay. Okay, so the third important service that a transport layer provides is encapsulation and decapsulation. Okay, so encapsulation happens at source host and decapsulation happens at destination host, right? Now, let me tell you what is encapsulation. So encapsulation, it's a process by which different layers of TCP IP model add extra information to the message it receives. Okay, or you can say add headers to it. Headers I've already explained. Why header is needed? To add the address, right? You can send a letter via post office by just writing the data you want, but you need to add the address, right? Your phone number, your address, your details. So that is what header is. Okay, so encapsulation means the process by which different layers of TCP IP model add extra information to the received message. Okay, so how encapsulation done in different layer is, if first application layer sends a message, okay, the message is sent by application layer to transport layer. What transport layer is? The message received by application layer is called payload. Okay, it adds the transport layer header, means it adds socket address. Okay, the port number. Transport layer tells you the port number, right? Where the exact process is. So it adds the socket address to header and other details, then sends that. It's called packet. Here the packet, here we call them as packet or segment, right? Then sends it to network layer. What network layer do is, network layer sends adds a header. It adds source address, destination address, the fragmentation field, right? So that it adds to header. Then message is done. Here it's called datagram. Then it sends to data link layer. This is additional information, right? That we have not studied right now. So data link layer, it adds the next hop, where the next hop is, right? Then it sends to, right? These are all the, what these different layers do. Let's stick to transport layer first. So transport layer, what it receives message from the application layer, and the message received is called payload. Then it adds the header. Header means it adds the socket address and other details also. So it adds socket address to the payload. Then it sends that to the sender. Then it sends it to receiver, and add receiver and add the destination, and decapsulation happens. What decapsulation? What is the process of decapsulation? At decapsulation, it receives the header, it drops the header, and sends that payroll to the application layer. Okay, so at decapsulation, it removes the header. Similarly, at network layer also, it removes the network layer header, then sends that datagram to upper layer. Okay, so likewise, decapsulation means it removes the header and sends the remaining payroll the message to upper layer. Okay, so encapsulation means by which different layers add additional information or headers to it. Okay, in transport layer, it receives a message from application layer, adds its header, means the socket address, sends it to the destination where decapsulation happens and sends that message to application layer. Okay, so this is the third function of transport layer. Okay, so now in next video, we will see the fourth important service of transport layer. Then we will see different controls that a transport layer provide. Flow control, error control, congestion control. Okay, all this we will discuss in the next video. Okay.